Right. There we go. It says we are live, so I'm going to go with that. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good to see you. Oh, yeah, the chat just filled up like that instantly. I think it was lagging. Welcome to our regular Tuesday hangout. Very pleased to say we have Pete with us. Hello, Pete.
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Lovely day today. A little bit cold, but enjoying these sort of lighter evenings. It sort of gets me working a bit more,
Yeah,
in the evening time rather than getting dark. So yeah, loving it at the moment.
I agree with you. I went out not long ago actually to drop off parcels, and it was bitterly cold. I get this problem where I have what they call Raynaud's disease, where your fingers, the veins constrict and they just go bright white. One of them did that. It was that cold.
Oh, right.
I'm still trying to warm it up. Anyway, we are live. If you are watching live, please pop in and say hello. And we have Andrea with us again. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, I get confused with these lighter nights now. I don't realise what time it is. I'm listing away and then I'm like, oh my God, I need to cook dinner.
Yeah, this crept up on me. I didn't realise what the time was. It's like, oh, going live. Anyway, let's say a few hellos quick. Hi, Jason. Good to see you. We have Georgia, Claire, Bruni, UK. Get my hello in nice and early. Good stuff. Hi, Alan. Good to see you. I'm legally dead. Sally's Super Shop.
I love
Aaron.
the picture there.
What's that?
And Sally's Super Shop. I love her little icon.
Little icon. Nice. And Chris, welcome.
Oh, that's a good flip clock on Chris's little name. I've sold one of those. In fact, I've sold two of that sort of thing.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, very cool things. Barefoot Aging, excellent. Lots of people. Victor, Damien, Antique Curios. Right, we'll be here all day. Hello, everybody. Let's go with that. Right, scroll to the end. So we've not chatted for a while, so we thought we'd have a catch up and also talk about the last 12 months, really, how it's been for you and for us, and people in the chat. You can share positives, if there are any, from this, from the lockdown, and how it affected your business negatively, if that's the case. Thought it might be interesting.
Yeah.
How has it been for the last year?
It's been strange. I mean, I think in terms of like sales, it's been surprisingly good. This time, I'm trying to think where we are now with when lockdown happened and everything. But this time last year, my boot fair season ended, and I'd gone sort of all out to get loads and loads of stuff in that sort of boot fair season. That is, hang on, let me think about it. That's 2019. So that boot fair season, because I mean I've been selling full time for about 5 years, and I've never really felt like I've grown a kind of a good backlog. I mean, I think there's a lot of people sort of who are going in new to reselling will have that problem as well, is that they don't have the kind of insurance of a lot of stuff behind them. So I was kind of intent on building that up, because I'd had 2 or 3 years of sort of getting to around about February and running out of stock, and I didn't want to get that again. So I'd gone absolutely mad, and then so that was 2019. Then when the boot fair season ended, I did loads and loads of jumble sales. And then lockdown happened. What was it? 2020? I can't even remember what month.
A year ago, basically now. So
yeah,
pretty much 12 months and a bit, the first lockdown started.
And to start with, it was kind of like, I won't be able to go to a boot fair. That's quite disappointing. But then they opened up. But in terms of sales, sales went up basically because everybody was buying.
Yep.
And I kind of thought, this is absolutely fabulous. And that carried all of 2020. It kind of was hitting quarter 4-ish numbers consistently. Wow. Up until December really, and it was absolutely brilliant. Apart from because sales were so good, I then sort of began to run out of stock at my usual time, even though I'd gone mad. And it was then that like my boot fairs last year finished in September, and there wasn't really anywhere to source apart from like Facebook Marketplace. But I'd normally be around the jumbles and stuff like that, and of course none of that was going on.
Yeah. Well, it's good to know that sales stayed good then. I mean, I remember that the first lockdown for us, we saw a big spike in sales.
Yeah, definitely.
Whilst we sold through we churned through board games and puzzles that we didn't have a great deal of in stock anyway. We listed everything we had left that wasn't listed, flew out as everyone found.
Yeah,
and
all
then
the puzzles went. That's brilliant.
Yes, exactly. And then video games, I scrambled around and found everything I had, listed it all, and it all went.
We went through all our boot sale stock, didn't we?
Yeah, stuff that we'd like, that's not worth listing. I fished it all back out of the boot sale pile and sold it all. And all our media was flying out. And then that calmed down, I think. There was about a month where everyone was...
Yeah. It did go mad at first, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like the Wii's were selling for like ridiculous amounts, and puzzles you've had for like years on end. But I mean, the downside is obviously you can't get out and source, so you have to have that kind of backlog of stuff behind you to kind of get through it. So I know Damien was in the chat and he started reselling. I think it was the beginning of 2020, and then lockdown happened, and that must have been so difficult for anyone sort of starting to resell if you can't go to a boot fair or if you can't source. So I found it difficult. So well,
certainly I know George documented that he struggled with stock because he runs a much leaner operation than we do anyway. George is in. Yeah, George shared openly that it's like I need stock to earn a living.
Yeah, it says lockdowns 1 and 3 bugged me.
Yeah, exactly. And we were in that lucky position, not through any planning. We had a massive backlog through just years of buying more than we could sell.
Yeah. We've always done that. We've always operated that way.
and really, for the first time ever, it paid dividends. It has helped us out in the past when there's been reasons why we can't source, other reasons, and we've always had that buffer, and we've kind of liked having the backlog. But this was the first time when we could see it properly paying off.
Yeah.
So we were grateful, to say the least. It was interesting watching the likes of George and others looking for alternatives and going to Facebook, going to eBay to find that stock, and then having to. I don't know if you experimented much with other sourcing.
Well, I had a fair bit of stuff, but just not enough. It never seems enough. I mean, I suppose I thought in my head before that maybe 3 months worth of sales stock is good enough, but in the lockdowns we had, I don't think it was at all. You probably needed about 6 to 12 months worth of stuff. But I mean, I tried. I got a vintage clothing, bulk buy thing, a haul thing, which I'd never done before. I'd normally get my clothes sort of individually. I used to get them from charity shops, but I've got stuff from car boot fairs. So that was good doing that, just sort of checking that out. That was, I know George did that and Andrew did that. And then, I got a few things on Facebook Marketplace. But what I found I was doing was really working through the stuff that I had that had been, it was either broken or thought it wouldn't sell, trying to mend it, or just stuff like, I've got loads of Sylvanian families, and that was, it just had to be sorted and got out. So a lot of the stuff that was just sort of gathering dust.
Well, it forced you, wasn't it? The Lego, it forced you to tackle the Lego early on, didn't it?
Yeah, the Lego was one of the first things, because you sold a whole load of friends Lego. Yeah. And I thought, well, I've got about probably double the amount that you had. So I thought, well, if I the thing with Lego is, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I thought every set has got to have every single bit, and it hasn't at all. You just got to.
No, I mean, the thing, a lot of people do think like that, but I think for collectors that's one thing, but particularly with the Friends Lego that you talked about, and we sold a big bundle of, that is 9 times out of 10 parents buying it for their kids. They're not
Yeah.
that bothered. They're not bothered if there's a figure missing or there's a wheel missing off a car. It really doesn't matter. They just want a bulk lot of the stuff their kids play with, and it's
just something to play with, isn't it?
Yeah. Just wanted to read out Mick Crisp. Welcome, Mick. Says, hello both. Really enjoy your videos. I assume you mean both channels. If not, check Pete's out because you'll enjoy it. I've had my best year during lockdown. But I'm not a reseller yet. Oh, best year doing what then if you're not reselling? I retired a few weeks to become a full-time reseller. Oh, maybe you mean you're a part-timer.
Yeah.
And you get, okay, fantastic. Yeah, I think a lot of people have done quite well because a lot of people turn to the internet to get hold of stuff. It was as simple as that, wasn't it? I think.
Definitely. I mean, the downside has definitely been just that feeling of not being able to go out and, go to a jumble sale or go to a boot fair or I haven't even I sometimes do a bit of online arbitrage, but we do all our shopping online, and I kind of thought, well, I don't really want to go down to Asda or Tesco just on the off chance that they might be having a 50% or 70% discount on something, because I've tried to not go out if I don't need to. So I haven't done any of that either. Tried looking at a few bits online, but didn't see anything. So it's been weird because the solitary aspect of it all has been quite crazy, really. I mean, that's been...
Yeah, that's...
never known anything like... It's a solitary job anyway, being a reseller a lot of the time. But going out and when you are sourcing... I know a lot of other resellers in my, Pete's in my local area, Peter Ray, and I probably know about 20 other blokes who do the similar sort of thing, and not seeing them sort of regularly has been really, really weird. It's a strange one.
That side of it is worth chatting about, actually, the whole mental fallout from the whole thing.
Can I very quickly interject and just say to Jack, no, don't worry, Jack, keep them in case you need any.
That was an order Jack placed. It never turned up, so we sent a replacement, and of course the original order's now turned up.
It's always the way, isn't it?
Just keep them, unless if you particularly want to send them back, fine, but we're not too bothered. That's absolutely fine. But thanks for letting us know.
That might be a question for you from Lex.
What's that? What's the difference between a boot sale and a boot fair? Are there rides and hot dogs?
I could just make something up here. One's like where they sell boots. No, they're exactly the same thing. Although I think I mentioned this a while ago, and someone was saying, "Oh, it's a car boot fair. Oh, it's a car boot sale." But in my mind, it's exactly the same thing.
I've never heard the term car boot fair until I think Zahir used to refer to them as car boot.
Yeah, it might be a London thing.
And I was like, what are you all about? What's that? I've never heard that.
We all go on the merry-go-round and then we go and buy a load of tat. That's how it works. Yeah.
From the last comment, Nick is an accountant.
Oh, okay, right. So you're an accountant. That's why. Right, interesting. Yeah. Well, best of luck if you're coming into the crazy world of reselling. It's quite a ride. It's a bit of a roller coaster.
It's definitely ups and downs, definitely.
Yes, it has been. So yeah, touching on the mental health aspect of this, and as you rightfully said, reselling can be quite solitary anyway. But I think what has really affected me this year is not having the choices. That has really messed with my head, not having the option to do things I want to do. Because our life day to day didn't really change a great deal.
Yeah.
That's
exactly right.
But it was like you just said, not having the option to drive 10 minutes to see my parents or to go and see my nieces and play with them in the garden. Mentally I missed that so much.
I've noticed that more as we've come to the end of this lockdown, that really, really missed it. And this weekend has been amazing. Just being able to see people,
spending time with my sister's kids and my sister
being able to go out and source again. It's like, what is this?
Yeah, it was quite a revelation going around the jumble trail.
I think I need to I've never been up on the rules because we've been sort of very strict on what we do anyway. We were sort of like wearing masks before anyone was wearing masks, and so but Liz, my wife, she hasn't seen her mum and dad for like over a year. They live in Birmingham, and they normally come down sort of 4 times a year, and we just haven't seen them. So it's really weird, things like that, just not being able to sort of go around and be around someone's house. I mean, my mum and dad are sort of local, but we're very sort of careful about when we see them as well. So yeah.
But that has been a big impact on us mentally,
really
and it kind of crept up on us. I think the first lockdown was almost kind of, you know, it was, oh, this is different. This is
we're all
kind
in it
of
together.
Yeah,
kind of
there's that whole
vibe
camaraderie, going out and clapping every Thursday and all of that thing.
Yeah.
By the time the third one came along, I was so fed up with it. I was
sick of it.
Constantly cheesed off. I was just like a grumpy man in my own little grumpy world.
I think everybody was.
Just so fed up. And now we're edging our way out of it. I'm excited again. I'm excited for the future again. It's like,
Well, I'm excited again, but I kind of feel now I really, really need to source. I mean, I got some stuff the other day, which has been really good, and it's strange how, like, I just got like a car of you know, crates of stuff that I bought off another reseller, but it was so nice to get some new stuff, because I'd been sort of going through my old bits for months on end. And I was going, oh, it's just so nice to get that. Just like, you know, with you and your Beatles records, just having something new is absolutely fabulous. I didn't really like mind whether it makes lots of money or not, but it was the fact that it was just new. And I think it's come at the right time as well, because my sales have gone down a little bit recently, and I always kind of expect that around February, March time anyway, that there's a bit of a dip. So, you know, it'd be good to sort of like reinvigorate my store with new stuff. And I think if people can do boot fairs in a couple of weeks, that'd be fantastic. So
thanks, Jack. Thanks for the super chat. I've still not had a jab.
I've had my first one.
You've had the first set. Where are you on that? Have you had?
Yeah, I've had a jab. I had a jab a few weeks ago. That's
cool.
The benefits of being an old man, I think. But it really knocked me for 6, actually, first couple of nights.
Oh, I was going to say, okay, so you did get effects, because you had a couple of days of being really rough.
Yeah, first night I was like, I had the shakes.
Yeah.
And then a bit rough the next night, and then didn't feel like 100% for probably about 10 days. You know, just kind of, you thought, oh, well, I don't feel as bad as I did the first 2 nights, but I still don't, still not there. Yeah. So it was a weird one.
It was a few days for me, just feeling exhausted. Even though I didn't feel unwell anymore, I just felt exhausted. But
so I've got that joy to come.
Oh
yay. Damien's saying I'm probably going to end up buying any old crap next week just because I'm allowed to.
I think it will be a bit crazy, actually. I think, I don't know what it's going to be like. It's going to be a weird experience going to a car boot fair. Firstly, waking up at 5:30 in the morning will be strange.
We're going to still avoid them for a while because you're not comfortable with it. And so if any more jumble trails come up, that's different, because you can enforce your own social distancing. At jumble car boot sales, it's almost impossible to, if other people are. So you're not happy to do that. So we're going to hold back for a while yet, I think.
Well, it might not be a bad move, because I mean, I think a lot of the people who sell will know that resellers are probably gagging for stock. So, the first few weeks, a lot of stuff might be sort of being pushed out at higher prices. So if you can be patient about it, then
to be honest, if we were thinking of going, I'd sell for the first couple. I've got a lot of stuff to clear, and I think I'd go and take advantage of everyone being gagging for stock and just clear.
Well, exactly. I've heard that. A few other resellers have said that. So,
although on Damien's comment, we went to this jumble trail thing. We will put together a video at some point.
We've got 2 coming.
I wasn't going all out because I'm still in the clearing through the rest of my backlog mindset, weirdly. So I wasn't desperate. So, but we didn't go crazy. I actually left stuff behind I could have made money on, but I'm still in the I want to get to the end of the backlog mode, strangely enough. But I think a lot of people will go buying crazy. That's for sure.
It is strange though, because I was thinking about kind of like the stock you've had, and you've had well, you probably had about three or four halls, haven't you? You had the car parts, you had the boots, and you had quite a few. Do you ever think, if I hadn't have got that, I would be scrabbling around for stock? Because when you got those car parts, if you hadn't have got that, which could have been.
The thing with that is, I think I don't actively look for stuff like that very often. And if we didn't have the car parts haul, we'd have bought twice as much at boot sales, or I'd have really looked for the next big haul. It's it swings and roundabouts with it, really. I mean, we were drowning in stock from the car parts for months and months on end.
Yeah.
So the rest of our sourcing kind of tailed off a bit to do with that. It's hard to know how you would be if you didn't do one thing and didn't find another. But the couple of hauls we had during lockdown, so the shoes and the cubes right at the beginning.
Yeah.
That was quite fortuitous. That they did really well. We've got hardly anything left of that now. So that's a whole pallet load of cubes we've got through.
It's crazy. I mean, some of the hauls you got, I thought, oh my God, is that really going to sell? A kind of Rubik's Cube that isn't a Rubik's Cube. And you just look at it and go, oh, yeah, it did. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder the same sometimes when I buy stuff.
It is.
Yeah. Chris saying there about backlogs. I never got anywhere near the end of my backlog. Wow. Managed to buy from various places over the past year too. Right, so you didn't stop sourcing. Yeah, I could have sourced a lot. There was auction places locally. I know Alan's been doing well from. We didn't even look. I didn't really push Facebook. I bought a few bits on eBay, but nothing major. I've actually enjoyed going through and rediscovering stock in the loft.
Yeah, totally.
And here there's boxes I don't even know what's in them.
Yeah.
I mean, I sometimes say I'm struggling for stock when I'm still surrounded by shelf upon shelf of stuff that I've got. But it's been quite crazy, because having sort of been doing YouTube for about a year and a half, that when I've said it, other resellers have come to me and sort of said, oh, well, if you need some stock, I've got some stuff. And I've had a few people say that, and I've just gone, that's absolutely incredible that. I bought a box off Cola Flipper, actually. He did one for me. He did one for me and one for George, and that was just brilliant as well. Just he wanted to clear it out, and it was good for both of us. So you kind of think, oh, no other reseller would want to give away their precious stock when it's so difficult to source, but everyone's in a different situation. So sometimes people do want to sort of make the space.
Exactly. And sometimes just moving on stock, even at cost or whatever it might be, is just what's needed to just clear the decks and if you're not in the headspace. And I know Lee's trying to change his business model up, and he struggles with time. So time is the issue with Lee. Your issue is stock. It's perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
James saying there about if the weather keeps up how it's been today, it'll be delayed. I assume you mean boot sales. We've had blue skies, snow, blue skies, and more snow. Yeah, we had snow in the morning and then lovely afternoon.
Yeah, and there's more forecast for tonight as well.
Snow tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, crazy weather. Proper crazy. Hi, Mr. Sprout, and Shelley's in, and Neil. Welcome, everybody. Rich as well. Good to see you, Rich. Just scrolling back to see if there are any more comments. Stacey saying about boot sales. We feel the same boot sales. No one social distance at boot sales. Yeah.
I remember one thing. I was at a boot fair last summer, and going around masked up. When I was first going, I was wearing mask and blue plastic gloves as well. But I did dump the gloves in the end and just sort of use the hand sanitizer. But there was a guy behind a stall, and he just went, "What are you wearing that thing for?" And I was like, "Oh, Jesus, here we go."
Yeah.
I may or may not see him this year, who knows? But it's there was a very sort of flippant attitude towards it, and which I don't mind if people want to make their own mind up. But to have a go at someone for wearing a mask was a bit too much, really.
Yeah, or to flout the rules in your face is another thing. You know, do what you want in your own space.
Yeah.
Don't come into mine. Flout the rules. Yeah,
But we got very mixed comments as well, didn't we? If we wore a mask, then people were saying, "Oh, you're being stupid.
Oh, on
You
YouTube,
don't need to wear a mask. You're outside. What are you wearing a mask for?" And then if you didn't wear a mask, people were saying, "Why aren't you wearing a mask? You're wearing a mask."
Yeah, the first boot sale video, when they reopened again after the first lockdown, the range of comments on that.
Yeah, we couldn't win.
From you're so over the top wearing masks. It was like, no, we had to.
Yeah.
And then it was.
And if we didn't show ourselves putting hand sanitizer on, then people would say, "Oh, you're touching your face, and you've touched everything, and you haven't sanitized."
Yeah. So we got back in the car
so
to
make
wrap
a
up.
point of showing we were putting his hand sanitizer on, and then people would say, "Why are you sanitizing so much? You shouldn't be sanitizing so much."
I mean, people love telling other people what to do and sort of saying when they've done something wrong. And I mean, my kind of view on it is like, well, I think I know what I should be doing. I'll do it. Everyone here will do it. And I don't really care what anyone else does. They can do what they want, you know. As long as it doesn't affect me, I don't really mind. So
Yeah, we're quite used to the world of the YouTube comment, but it was amusing on that one because there was one extreme to the other. You should be sanitizing more, stop sanitizing so much, you're crazy. It was just hilarious, you know. Yeah, Lex was saying just before she's excited to go treasure hunting. Yeah, that aspect, I forgot how much I enjoyed it. We had a wave of a time. Yeah. Just good looking for cool stuff, and we managed to find some cool stuff. It was a perfect day.
Well, that's I know exactly what she's saying there, because I'm not expecting to go out and get loads and loads of stuff, and I think there are going to be some people frantically going around trying to get stuff, and I'm just looking forward to going out, walking around a field and just taking it all in. And if I see something, I see something, and just being out again and seeing what happens. You know,
well, it's nice to be reminded of how much we enjoy that side of it, because we've not had that experience. And that's what it did for me. I think I was like, oh yeah, I get to do this as part of my job. Yay. And that was really nice. It wasn't a big yard sale. There weren't that many stalls, and we had the usual problems of people either not setting up or only having a stall for an hour and then packing up. There was all of that malarkey going on, but it was fun. It was nice to get back out there. James was saying, do you think the car boots will be rammed, or will people be cautious going back out?
I've got a feeling it will be rammed. I think there might be a lot of people who are noticeably new to reselling. I think there's a lot of people who are going to be trying it.
That's an aspect
I could be wrong, but I just kind of get the feeling with sort of furlough and people being off work, they might have dabbled in, I'm going to sell this on eBay, and then thought, oh well, you know, why not try and get to a boot fair and try it out? So that'll be interesting to sort of see if we spot the newbie, maybe go around and you know.
I've not thought about that aspect. My thought was there'll be a lot of people like us who are keen to go out and source again. But I'd not thought about the influx of new people. And we've certainly seen the YouTube side of things has been amazing for us for this year. Yeah. With new people trying to find ways of making money because they're furloughed, or because they just need some cash right now because they've lost their job, or they're, you know, all of that crap.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
COVID.
And I think, you know, a lot of people, it's so easy now to sell online compared to, you know, 10 years ago. And so many, you know, every advert you turn on is some sort of selling website. So, you know, people would have tried Vinted and Facebook Marketplace. So, yeah, I think a lot of people will be thinking, oh, well, I've tried my, you know, I've gone around my house and sold some stuff. Let's try and go to a boot fair. But,
George is agreeing about the thrill of the hunt. It's why I started doing this. It's hardly any fun in sourcing online.
Yeah, totally agree there.
Yeah, I've become an addict of hunting for vinyl online. That's a bit dangerous.
But that's what you're saying.
I do get a thrill out of that. Sunburnt one day, freezing the next. Yeah, madness, isn't it?
Yeah, I hope it does get a bit warmer in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah,
you know, I do want to be awake at 5:30 and not freezing my arse off. So
I believe Lainey is going live again. Lainey's had a tough couple of weeks, so we'll hand everyone over to Lainey when we're done here. Go and join in on Lainey's channel. Blooming hope she is now. I've given you another plug, Lainey. I think so, aren't you? 7:30. I'm pretty sure she is. So yeah, I mean, so now we think we're tentatively coming out of this thing, and it remains to be seen. But
I'm obsessed with the numbers. I'm terrible, really. I'm a terrible one for looking at sort of facts and figures, which I have absolutely no influence over. So, you know, I will look at the dashboard.gov.uk every day and go, oh, it's 2,000 again. It's under 3,000. You know, if it can stay at that level, I think, why am I looking at this? Because I can't change it. But, you know, yeah, it's hopefully it will stay down. It's interesting comparing sort of our numbers that have stayed down, which is a good sign, I think.
But what I was going to ask was if we are coming out of lockdown now and we can stay out of lockdown, have you thought business wise, is anything going to change for you? And have you learned things from this that is going to affect how you source, what you source, or anything? I mean, are you going to go crazy buying? Well, you said.
Well, I probably will go crazy buying, but that hasn't really changed from last year, you know, because I know that there's always a possibility of another sort of lockdown could happen.
Yeah.
Because I think this might be. I don't think this is the end of it. You know, I think maybe next October we might see something else. We could get a variant. I think it's taught me that anything can happen. I suppose the one thing I have changed, I mean, I've always been on my channel, I bang on about routine, and I'm a bit of a routine freak, you know, get up, get some listing done early, do certain things every day, just small steps. But I think it's taught me that is so important. I don't know when it was, probably about a month ago, my boiler broke and my car needed fixing, and there were about half a dozen things that went wrong, and eBay became sort of, I was doing the minimum basically, just to sort of get through day by day. And you know, as you'd expect, everything went a bit off a cliff. And then it was only when all of that was sorted, the boiler was on, you know, nice and warm again, I thought, okay, well, let's get back on it. And I got back to my routine, and I got back onto sort of like maximizing the potential of my store. And it made such a difference. I mean, I know people always say do stuff every day rather than peaks and troughs, but that is so important to do it. I mean, my sales probably trebled. And I started looking at things like the impressions and the page views, which, even though I'm a kind of quite analytical person, I'd never really looked at that sort of stuff. But I started looking at that more, and you know, it showed me that you do need to look at your eBay analytics and look at how many impressions you're getting, and if you're not getting sales, it's because you're not getting page views, and if you're not getting page views, it's because you're not getting impressions. And what can you do to maximize your impressions? Yeah, I mean, I was gobsmacked when, you know, I started doing some changes, and I kind of like, my impressions trebled, and I was like, why have I not done this? Why have I not done this before? So yeah, it's taught me to be a bit more serious about it, I think.
That's interesting. We don't pay a great deal of attention to that.
No, I know you don't. Because I've always been, you know, I like to have a certain routine and do things, and I know you're very much. I'll do some, and you might work through the night, and it's such a different. And yeah, it goes to show that, you know, different things work for different people. I mean, I couldn't work the way you work. You probably couldn't work the way I work, but I need to have that kind of routine. Well, and if I don't have it,
it's a very common question we get is, how many items do you list a day? Do you try and list a certain amount of items a day? And I think for both of us, the answer is we don't really have any system. You know, one week I could be all over the place and get virtually nothing listed, and the next week I might list 200 or 300 things. It's as on and off like that.
It's different strokes for different folks, and I had a similar question, and it's funny because it's the sort of question that I would have asked maybe 3 years ago, is and it was, how many items do you need on your store to start getting sales. And I was like, it's not about that.
No,
It's
really
you
not.
want to be looking at how many items you're selling. So, maybe, look at, how regularly you're putting stuff on, try and do a set amount a day, be it 5, 10, 15, 20 or whatever. But the important thing is how much you sell, because some of the best shops have 200 items, but they sell straight away. So they're never hanging around. You don't want sort of dusty stock. So
and one thing that we've always tried to do, going back to when you said about the car parts and the shoes and the cubes, if you have enough of those sort of lines that might be 1, 2 or 3 listings, but they all tick along, that props us up. And we've always tried to have a few of those things that always run along in the background and tick along, and that sort of smooths things out for us. You know what I mean? That keeps going, but it's only one listing in the store potentially that might generate by the time it's all gone, that might have generated 2 or 3 grand's worth of sales. But it's only one listing. I love stuff like that. That's so important for what we do.
But it is up and down, and I mean, I think it does take a while to get used to that. I mean, when I first started, I was sort of hitting certain turnover milestones. I was thinking, oh, brilliant, and then you kind of think that will carry on, but it's not like that at all. It is up and then it's down, and you think, have I lost the ability to do this? But then it'll go up again, and that's just the way it is. So
definitely. Derek, we've had your comment on the screen for ages. Good to see you, Derek. Went to the first boot sale here in Scotland last weekend, was just the same as normal. Also no distancing, etc. by others, sadly. So that's interesting that it was pretty much business as usual for Derek. So
he got some great stuff. I watched his video. He did get some good stuff, actually.
Yeah, Derek finds some awesome stuff.
I know.
And then, hi, Tommy. Thank you for the super chat from Boston, Massachusetts, and wondering what a boot fair is. Well, it's like a flea market, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that would be the American equivalent of what a boot fair is.
Yeah, essentially, here in the UK, we have boot sales or boot fairs, same thing. Where we all gather in a location, usually like a farmer's field. Sometimes it's on like a car park on hard standing. Sometimes they're in a big barn and they're kind of indoors, but they're all classed as a boot fair. So the average Joe, the average family can turn up having a clear out, but you also get a lot of traders at them. And I think the nearest thing it would be a flea market. I've seen videos of those from America, and they're very similar in that sense. So that's what we refer to as boot sales. Okay, let's see what other comments we've got. Oh yeah, we can touch on this actually, Neil. eBay in their wisdom, because this really needed fixing, didn't it, eBay? I mean, focus on the real problems, please. Had a storming good 500 character feedback today. So eBay has changed I don't know what the character limit was for feedback.
But now maybe 28.
They can write an essay now. I'm not sure this is a good idea.
They write their life story. Oh dear, I haven't had a long one yet, but I think everyone will get them. I think it will become a bit of a meme, like post your longest feedback and see what someone says.
I think once we gather a few, you could make a video just reading out these massive essays you're going to get. But it does boggle my brain that eBay has put seriously a lot of time and effort into changing that.
Why on earth?
Come on. Anyway, right.
Yeah, Cliff has said you should put some items on each day, and I tend to do. I mean, some days I'm more in the groove than other days, but I do see some people who sort of say, "Oh, try and do 50 a day or 100 a day," and I kind of realistically think, well, how could you keep that consistently going? Because surely you can't source at that rate. If you're putting on 50 a day, you can't source 50 a day. That's just like ridiculous. So I kind of think if I do, minimum of 5, I might do 20 sometimes. Sometimes I've splurged and gone more than that, but I will tend to if I do sort of more than 10, I'll tend to just draft them up and have a bank of drafts.
Yeah.
So I don't tend to sort of go, I'm going to do 50 today and make them all live. I'll sort of do maybe a maximum of 10. And if I want to sort of list 40 more items that are easy. They're just going draft, and I think I've got them in the bank, and I've got my next 3 days sorted or whatever.
Yeah.
And I tend to do it like that. That's the way I like to work.
Exactly. And I'm not consistent in how many things appear on eBay, but I'm always doing stuff. And quite often there'll be 2 or 3 days where I'll be sorting, testing, cleaning, making decisions, doing research. And then a couple of days after that, like 50 or 100 things might suddenly appear on eBay. But it's all of the work that happened in the previous days enabled that kind of splurge of activity to happen.
Yeah,
I do agree with you that it'd probably be better to spread the actual listing out, but it's just not how it happens in my world.
Like, everyone does it different. I was trying to repair stuff, so I've listed 10 things today, and it's sort of like a pretty normal day for me. And I've tried to repair a PS3, which I mentioned the other day on my channel, and No Dave Repairs, he put a comment in and he went, "Oh, that's another one for the spares and repairs pile," and he got it exactly right, because I didn't repair it. It ended up being broken, but it was one I got free anyway. So, but it made me laugh that I thought, oh, I can see the future.
Yes. I subscribe to the theory that if you want consistent sales, you need to consistently list. Yeah, I think it's hard to argue against, Damien. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
And it's difficult thinking of a number, like I say, because I always go back to, okay, how many things could you realistically source? And of course, sourcing is so variable as well. I mean, I hardly sourced anything for months. And then last week I went and picked up probably about 100 things in one hit. So, you can have huge variations on that.
Oh, why did that not come up? Yeah, back to work soon. Shop opening. Exciting.
Oh, that would be exciting for Kirsten.
Exactly.
I mean, her and Z and anyone else who's got bricks and mortar. It must be such a thing to get back in their shop and talk to customers. I mean, they must miss that. I mean, that must be the big thing about having. I've never had a bricks and mortar, but surely that is the human interaction. One of the main reasons why you have a shop. Yeah,
I mean, obviously that's a big part of our background, and even today we still miss that part of it. X amount of years later, coming out, we still miss the people.
Yeah.
And I was speaking to Kirsten actually, and I was saying that the routine, getting back to that routine, because it becomes your life. When we were retailers, it is your life. Your life kind of revolves around being a shop owner, and when that's taken away, it's losing that routine.
And that local community thing. I mean, you definitely got it in some of Z's videos. He was saying that people were coming in from the local area, and it's Garstang, I think he lives in, isn't it? And they will very much back the local businesses. So and it would be so good to see, especially Z, because it's really his first sort of. He opened for a little bit, but it would be his first sustained go at it.
I mean, could he have picked a worse time to try to tempt retail? Bless him.
If he's made it through that, he can make it through anything.
Exactly. Yes, but you're right. It's a huge community thing being in retail, and I mean, we used to have so many regulars.
Is Zahir still in the chat?
I don't know if he's in. He was, but best of luck for reopening, Zahir and Kirsten. Any other retailers that are in? Yeah. Finally, we're almost there. How are we doing for time? Oh, we've got time.
You're never tempted to go back to a bricks and mortar then?
We're always tempted.
Never say never.
Probably not, but
never say never. The overheads and the time that it takes to run a high street shop really puts us off.
Do some pop-up shops of random items or something.
Well, we like how we have it now, to be honest, and we need to remind ourselves that we did what we did in retail to get to this point, where we don't have to do stuff. But there's a lot about retail that we miss, and we always will, I guess, and it is mainly the people. Definitely. So we touched on YouTube briefly. How has YouTube been for you? Have you stayed consistent through the last year?
I tell you what, that's been quite difficult as well. I mean, when I started it was like, I'm going to do a video every day. This will be really easy. And after about 2 weeks, I was like, oh my God, this is really difficult.
Yeah.
But it's been really enjoyable. I mean, I think the thing I noticed straight away was what you get back from it, and the people commenting, and that's been amazing. And yeah, it's just been really fun, really. I've like sort of sharing. I normally share my sort of process and routines, as well as what I buy and everything. But that's been really good fun. Like I do my regular Monday, and that's always good because you always get the same names coming in and commenting. So it's just like a little kind of get together, really, which has been really fantastic.
Yeah.
So Neil's saying there, Pete, is the only reason I watch YouTube. Yeah, I do. I do tend to make some mistakes, like not having my microphone on, and I tend to eat quite a lot on stream as well. But no, I've absolutely loved it. I do keep meaning to sort of make it a bit more polished and professional, but I've been saying this for a year and I never get around to it.
I've been saying it for 6 years, mate. It's never happened, so I wouldn't worry too much about that.
No, well, I don't. I kind of think, well, I'm saying what's happening, saying what's going on. Stuff I find interesting goes on there. Stuff that annoys me goes on there, and
I mean, on that, people genuinely come for the content and for the people.
Yeah,
and that's why people stay. It's not because the editing's slick.
No, well, exactly. And it was so good. Like a few weeks ago when everything seems to be breaking around me, and I did think, oh, shall I just not do it for a few weeks? Because I'm absolutely freezing cold in here and nothing's working. But I went on and did it, and it did cheer me up, just sort of like going on there and doing it. So yeah, no, it is good. Peter Ray saying lots of mistakes. Very true. He reminds me of all my mistakes. So,
polished and professional is dull.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And I think particularly in our little corner of the internet, which is reselling, buying secondhand stuff, people are very forgiving with the videos because that's not why they're here. They're here to find out what you've picked up, what you've sold, and hopefully invest a little bit in you as a person, and that's it. Beyond that, I don't think it really matters. So
well, exactly. You just sort of, like I say, I've enjoyed sort of like saying what I found has helped with eBay and certain things that I've found interesting, certain fails that I've had, and just the day-to-day of it, really. It's been brilliant.
Can't wait for the boot sales and charity shops. I'm sick of people on Facebook Marketplace who tell you it's available, then someone has obviously contacted them to offer more. Right.
I find Facebook Marketplace so frustrating, and I kind of get the feeling that I seem to be. Firstly, the stuff on there seems to all be at eBay prices, and I kind of don't want it put it down to where I am, because I'm sure people have similar problems everywhere else. But you just kind of think, it's crazy, and if I've seen something good about, maybe I could count it on one hand, half a dozen times, but I never get there on time. So
what I've found is I'm just not efficient enough at checking in there like every few hours or having a look and stuff, because my sister and brother-in-law, they're finding all sorts of goodies.
Really?
We saw them over the weekend, and it was like, really? And all of this sort of, it's like, what? Yeah.
I kind of think whether I'm doing it wrong, because the stuff that tends to come up is it's all gaming console related or stuff I've searched for before, and I think it's just given me the same sort of stuff that is very difficult to get because people jump on it, very, very quickly. So I almost want to sort of refresh it and go in as completely new, or just find another niche, really. But I've probably picked up probably less than 20 things on Facebook Marketplace.
Same. I tried to sell some stuff, and we managed to sell some DVDs, and that's it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, eBay is ticking along lovely. It's like
exactly.
It's eBay just works.
I've probably found more stuff that people have chucked out just on their driveways, just giving it away, than I have on Facebook Marketplace. You probably see more stuff just walking around. So
I think the battle with Marketplace is consistency, consistently looking and being savvy with that side of it, because I'm not. I'm sure I'd more if I was actually regularly looking, but I'm just not. Peter has got an ASMR voice, very soothing. You should do an ASMR channel.
I just thought it was a bit of a weird, South London voice, to be honest. I don't think it's. But there you go.
Yeah.
Tommy Bernard always goes on about my voice as well, says it's quite a relaxing voice, but I don't know. You never like your own voice, do you? I remember when I used to hear it, if we used to record it on a cassette and hear it back, you go, oh, is that me?
Yeah, I don't like mine.
Did you want to read?
Yeah,
you just highlighted that.
Facebook Marketplace makes me shouty.
Shouty. A few things have made me shouty recently, one of which I've not shared yet, but you know what I'm talking about. And I think, Pete, you know what I'm talking about. I've not actually divulged that and made it public yet. But yeah, eBay surpassed themselves.
Watch this space.
We won't go there.
And continue to.
Nick, I'm sure it will be okay.
It will, and I know it will. But I mean, I'll just say this for now. I'm not even sure I'm going to make a video about it, but I think I will. eBay have taken a cock up and just made it into a bigger one, and now they've made it into an even bigger.
Have you thought about doing like another version of One Foot in the Grave? Because the number of times you could say, "I don't believe it."
Yeah.
I've always said, haven't I, that you turn into Victor Meldrew.
Victor Meldrew. I've been accused of being Victor.
Bit by bit.
You lovingly refer to me as a grumpy old man all the time. Yeah.
You are Victor Meldrew. I didn't know I was going to marry Victor Meldrew.
Only with good cause.
I now feel like his long-suffering wife.
What was her name on that? I
can't remember.
No. Yeah, probably a video to come soon. We haven't yet had it fully resolved.
Yes, Lex says make a ranty video.
Make a ranty video.
I was saying the other day that the sort of my kind of eBay experience has all been quite boring, really, and even my reselling, because I've been watching Chris had been stung for buying a load of crates off someone, and you've had problems, and a few other people have had problems. I was thinking, nothing ever happens to me. I mean, I don't want it to, but it might like another day.
Right, careful what you wish for.
Yeah, no, I don't want it. I don't want to
put that out into the world now. Yes, Stu's always there with the one-liners. One foot in the cave.
Margaret was Victor's wife. Claire.
He's there all day. Oh, was it
Margaret?
Margaret.
Yes, of course, it's Margaret.
Yeah. Although, I mean, thankfully, because we have this platform, the fact that we've had a few kind of episodes of really recently, they paid off YouTube-wise, so we're okay with it,
The title's got to be "I Don't Believe It" or "Bloody Hell."
Yeah, maybe soon. Maybe I'll put out another one
with a picture of Victor Meldrew on the front.
Yeah.
All we need is the phone to ring now and you to pick up a small sort of sausage dog.
Yeah. 4291.
4291. I don't believe it. Yes, but I'm just worn out with it. I need to get some energy for a proper rant video. I'm just worn out and fed up with it now. I just want, I'm done with it. Anyway, yeah, people are crying out for a rant now. Go on, Nick. A rant is good for the soul and for views. Love a ranty video.
It's true.
Do a ranty video unedited. Well, you see,
not yet. We'll be soon.
People will be shocked to hear me swearing my head off. I'm not sure it'd go down well.
I don't think you should do that.
Is it snowing where you are? Neil's only up the road.
He's only up the road, so he'll be with us soon. Then.
I can see a dark cloud hanging above about where you are, though, Neil. So yeah, maybe
we've had snow today. It's crazy.
4291.
Yeah, that's the funniest
episode
Rob. Ever. That one
you...
when the yoga teacher dies.
Oh God, yes. The yoga one was a classic. Do you answer Facebook questions when item sells? I don't have a great deal of experience selling on there. The last sale we had, I thought was a wind-up because the guy said he's coming by train to pick it up. And I thought, well, this is just somebody winding me up.
It's because we're so used to that.
I know. But he did. He came from wherever he was coming from and walked all the way from the station to our house because I refused to meet him at the station.
What was it? A Furby or something? What was it he was buying?
It was 1 to 10 of friends.
Ah.
Yeah, who takes the train journey to pick that up for tenner's worth of stuff? Anyway, it was. But yeah, if I think someone's genuine, I will spend the time of day chatting to them and trying to bottom out a deal on Facebook. But I do find, well, particularly when I was selling on Spock for a while and experimenting with that, it was just constant time wasters.
Oh, it's such a time sink. I mean, looking for stuff. I've got a few things on sale on Marketplace, but I haven't sold. But trying to source stuff is a real time sink. I mean, I just long for the boot fairs. I would say sort of 95% of my stock would come from boot fairs and jumble sales and sort of sales.
Yeah.
And I really want to keep it that way, to be honest. I couldn't switch to like doing 50% on Facebook Marketplace or retail arbitrage or online arbitrage. It just wouldn't work.
You just highlighted Queenie.
That scene was hilarious, wasn't it? Because you don't expect Annette Crosby to swear like that.
The actress who played Margaret on Afterlife.
Remember when he
very
visited
funny.
her? Well, they were doing a report on her being like, was it 100 or something? And they were like, and what does it feel like to be this age? I can't remember what she said, but it was very, very funny. It was very shocking.
But yeah, she was good in Afterlife.
Yeah.
I enjoyed you on Lainey's channel as well, Queenie. That was fun.
Talking of a rant.
Speaking of which, we'll have to wrap up shortly if we're going to pass over to Lainey. Talking of a rant? Where?
Yeah, well, Queenie.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
There's a good comment there from Isaac. He's saying,
back in a minute. I need a drink.
Okay.
He says, you make selling on eBay look so easy. I'm looking forward to having a go myself. Well, it's I wouldn't say it was easy. It's exciting and it's fantastic and the freedom is amazing. But it's hard work. It's hard work. It's very hard work. And when you get those first few sales, you get a huge buzz off it and the excitement. But to keep that consistently going is the trick, and to keep yourself motivated, because any full-time reseller, they will have their fantastic times and then they'll have their difficult times as well. So it's ups and downs with sales, ups and downs with mood. But if you can deal with that, then have a go. Why not? Why not try?
And it's not a 9 to 5. You end up at 11 o'clock at night answering messages from people and measuring stuff up and doing all kinds.
I think the point of that comment is that if you're saying about YouTubers make it look easy, is that naturally we kind of share the fun bits, the hauls, and then the next video you'll see we've sold a load of it. The stuff you don't see in between was the cleaning, the testing, the researching, the photographing, the listing, the boring stuff.
Yeah.
Because most of that isn't shown on YouTube. It just looks easy because you see the fun bit. Look what we found, and then look what we've sold.
Yeah.
Most of the actual work is cut out of what you see on YouTube. So it is a lot of work, and it may look easy, but we've been doing it 20 years, so we're kind of used to it. But still not easy.
No, it's not. Neil wants to know if he came back with a Bacardi and Coke.
There's no, it's just Coke. There's no fun bit in this. Lainey, can you confirm that you are going live at past? If so, we will hand over to you shortly.
About a minute.
About a minute.
She might have gone already.
Confirmed. She may have gone to set up.
Yeah, and Mr. Sadie is right. It depends on your definition of easy. If you dig ditches for a living, it's pretty easy. I would agree. Yeah. There's not much physical work in what we do most of the time.
But you definitely have to work, and if you do that work and you enjoy it, it may not seem like work. But if you do find the fact that you're finding it difficult to get stock, or your sales are low, and that gets to you, then it might be difficult. So it's so hard. It's not for everyone.
Reselling is a hard way to make an easy living.
I like that.
That's a good little sentence.
Or is it an easy way to make a hard living? I don't know.
Yeah. The fact that Lainey's not replying means she's not gone live.
Neil's just got sidekick stew on tonight.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. Okay, good stuff. Okay, well, we will wrap up shortly.
We'll wrap up now because it's past.
Yeah, well, that's what we do. Yeah.
So shortly. That could be like 5 minutes
time. Whatever. Thank you for joining us at short notice, Pete.
Oh, thank you for having me on.
Here's a good quote to end on. You get out what you put in.
Yes,
exactly.
That is totally true. I mean, we were talking about listing and consistency. eBay is one of those. Well, reselling is one of those businesses where if you work like a crazy fool, you will make good money. If you slack off, you won't. It's as simple as that.
It all depends what you want. I mean, I'm very much into it for the freedom it gives me. So you know, I know I could probably work about 4 times harder than I do, but I'm perfectly comfortable with where I am.
Yeah.
So you know, it's not the same for everyone.
I waited to go full time till when I retired. Now I work harder than I did before. There you go. That's yes. It is not an easy option, and if sometimes the videos make it look like that, it's just simply not the case.
It's the highlight reel.
It's the highlight. It is, yeah. Us YouTubers, it kind of has to be a highlight reel, really, because otherwise, yeah, what would we be making videos of? Although I did do a video once of me cleaning the covers on some oily books.
Oh yeah, time lapse
Me cleaning books for an hour once.
If you need something to go to sleep,
go viral, that one.
Yeah, it didn't go viral. I don't know why. So yeah, thanks again, Pete, and everybody in the chat for your questions and comments. It's always a pleasure. Oh, Alan's in. That reminds me, I need to contact you, Alan, about you know what. And we will see you on Sunday, if not before. We will try and put together a video of us sourcing the other day, which will be fun. And you'll have a video out on your channel, won't you?
Yes, I'm doing a video of the Jumbotron
goodies that we found.
2 different perspectives.
Yes, fantastic. And we did mention it before, but Peter has a channel called The Vinegar Jar, and I have linked that below, or you can just search The Vinegar Jar and it should pop up on YouTube. Please go and give Pete some support, and we will see you all soon. Okay, take care, everyone.